Hello, everyone, and I'm going to start that again for people watching live. You get a rerun. So anyway, here we go. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another AFLW Fantasy Fanatics round preview, the final round preview of the season. Round 10 is upon us. It's gone very quick, and yeah, it is a stressful time here at Bales HQ with 27 points between me and 100 spots. So we are fingers crossed that we can get ourselves a hat finally. So hopefully that can be done. But I am, of course, your host, Bales, and you can find me at BalesDT across the socials. Jaiden is unfortunately not with us today. He's going away this weekend, so he's not able to make it. And Mitch is also very busy with the NBA stuff. But I've got a very special guest jumping on. He knows certainly what he's talking about, both in the AFLW and AFL Fantasy landscape. Became second overall in AFL Fantasy this year. It is coach of Palm United, is Tom. Mate, how are you?
Hi, Bales. Hi, everyone. I feel very nervous at my first AFLW pod, but we'll give this a crack.
Yeah, no, mate, it's all good. But we're sort of fairly similar positions, trying to chase down 100 spots. You want to give the listeners sort of a rundown of where you currently rank, how many points off the top 100 you are, and then also you can sort of run us through what you're looking at doing with your trades ahead of the final round.
Yeah, so I'm overall rank 132, so that's 55 points off the 100. So I'm like that little bit further than you are, Bales. So I've got to take a few more risks. Trades for this week. I've tried to get Mimstron in all season, and I got her in last week thanks to the late out of Kate Hall. She's not staying in my side for this week 10. I need to get some cash from somewhere. So my trades this week, all being good with no late outs, will be Strom to Scholes. Scholes with a great matchup. Unfortunately, Dizzy Darcy's been in my team all season, but she has to make way with that ACL. Maddie Newman comes in tonight, so that'd be good to watch. And an upgrade at my F5, so I'm doing Darcy Guttridge to Kit Shearlaw for that round 10 key forward bump.
Yeah. No, it'll be interesting to see how Kate Shearlaw can go in that game for North Melbourne tomorrow. Sorry, I missed as well. Who did you say was coming in for Daisy Darcy?
Maddie Newman tonight for Adelaide.
Yeah, cool. Yeah,
so I'd love to get up to Maddie Gay, but I just can't. It's just too expensive for me to get up that far. So
no, I like it. My trades, I'm looking at going. I've had a few options this week, but probably two of the ones have stuck out to me. At the moment, I'm currently going Goldrick out up to Maddie Newman, and in order to do that, I need to make a tiny bit of cash. So I'm going. I was going to go Borg down, but the fact she's playing and McLaughlin isn't, I'm going to go McLaughlin down to Lauren Young, get a bit of a head start. I know Liam's talked about that. Get a head start because she will be in our teams 100% next year. And then with that final trade to make an extra sort of 20, 30K, I'm actually going Ash Riddell down to Ali Anderson. I like the matchup for Ali Anderson this week. Brisbane need to win and get some percentage boost, which I think they can do. And I think Ali Anderson can go quite well in that game. And Ash Riddell, I'm a bit nervous just with the fact that North Melbourne, if they get up by a fair lead, then she could be rested because we know she has been carrying a bit of a foot or ankle injury for the last couple of weeks. So, looking to do that. The only thing I don't like is the fact that all three of my trades lock out tonight because I need the cash from both trades to get enough cash for to go and get Maddie Newman. So I'm not loving that part of it. But it is what it is with the no edit trade feature. Can't really do anything. The only other thing I've considered was instead of doing the rookie downgrade, going Mim Strom down to Matilda Schultz, banking a heap of cash there, then going and getting a Maddie Gay or Gabby Newton in defence, and then still doing the Ash Riddell to Ali Anderson. No, sorry, hang on. I wouldn't be doing the Ash Riddell. Hang on. Yes, I would be. Sorry. No, never mind that. But yeah, the Ash Riddell trade would still be happening. So looking at that, I think I'm going to go Maddie Newman and keep Mim Strom. I just feel like if I did trade her out, she'd probably drop 130 on my head. So I'm hoping that she does that, and you're hoping that she doesn't do that. So it'd be very, very interesting to see how she goes. But we do have a couple of super chats as well to get us underway, so we'll answer these quickly here as well. So Tim Ashworth's got the first one. He says, who do I trade? Goldrick, Strom, Georgie Prasparkas, Lauren Butler, Michaela Pounger, and Jade Britton. So, Tom, who would you be trading out? I think Goldrick's obviously has to go. He's not playing this week. Mim Strom is probably the least of Tim's concerns there, but maybe he needs the cash. But yes, where would you be going with the other two trades?
So if they're all on field, which I think we have to assume that all those players are, it just depends how much cash you have. How much money? See, someone who was mentioned on the free kick pod this week is actually someone I had in my team for a while. I was looking at Georgia Stathis from Western Bulldogs, who have a great matchup as someone to possibly a bit cheap to win for Goldrick. However, that's actually still an upgrade. I actually think this is really hard. Like, I would say the person you'd want to keep out of that is Strom.
Yeah, but I think Pounger can probably stay as well.
Pounger can probably stay. Her role's been okay, especially since the suspension.
Yeah,
Butler's been playing forward. I don't know how far forward that ball's going to get this week with a fairly tough matchup for Collingwood. It's okay matchup for forwards for Collingwood. Britain's been fine. It's a decent matchup for West Coast.
Yeah,
I wouldn't trade Strom, but I am trading Strom, so I'm not going to talk people out of it.
It depends, I guess, if Tim's got cash on his bench or whatever. But if he doesn't, he's got 26k in the bank. Maybe Strom down to a Matilda Schultz, or if you need a Jess Allen or someone like that, then that gets Goldrick up, and then you can go Lauren Butler up as well. So that would be potentially maybe you go Strom down to Jess Allen. If you get Schultz instead, great, but go down Jess Allen, go Goldrick sideways to Emma O'Driscoll, and then go Lauren Butler up to, if you get Georgia Stathis or Maddie Newman or someone like that. That would be what I would try and do. But it's I guess a tricky sort of situation to sort of what you're going to do there. Corey Blatcher's got another super chat here, so thanks, mate. Very much appreciate it. He said, thoughts on the best defender, 687k or under for best matchups, going Goldrick to O'Driscoll, McDonough to Too Good, and Daisy Darcy to a defender. So I guess I'll get up the defenders up on my on the app here and just see, I guess, who we're sort of looking at in terms of that price range and what defenders we could potentially be looking at under 687k. So looking here, you got like a Nat Grider, Nicole Bresnahan, Jade Britton. They're probably the three that sort of stand out to me looking at over 600k. Alex Morecambe, I know Liam chatted about her that she could go quite well against Carlton this weekend. So maybe her. Gab Pound is 537, but obviously he's been pretty bad the last 2 weeks, so I don't think you can go there. Is any of those players sort of standing out to you, Tom, at all that you'd be looking at?
I do quite like a Bresnahan. I know it's not the easiest matchup for North versus Gold Coast, just because the ball won't get back there. But if they want to play a bit of chip around, a bit of low contest, save the legs footy, especially in the second half, that could work quite well. She's shown in recent weeks that she's got her thirst for the pill back. I think it was a couple of weeks ago for that first half. She was absolutely everywhere. It was on like 50 points at half time. Like, for someone placed that, if you can grab a 70, which could happen. I love Too Good in this week. I think it's a great matchup. She showed she's working her way back well last week with an amazing first half. And 85 still very, very good for a forward. And apart from that, I do quite like the trades. You might even be able to do better than O'Driscoll if you go someone cheaper, like a Gab Pound, maybe.
Yeah.
With those trades, you might even be able to go further up if you go further down. So.
Yeah, exactly. It's interesting spot there for you, Corey. But I think Bresnahan's probably the one I'd go for there. Looking at those names, but obviously it's a tough sort of one when you're sort of limited to a price and you sort of don't love any of the options under there. But I'd like the two, as you said, I like the two good in. I like the Emro Driscoll in. So I don't think I'd be changing either of those. But again, if you're getting a cheaper player than 687k, like if you don't go for Bresnahan, you go for if you go for Bresnahan, you get yourself an extra, was it 58k there? You put that on potential on top of O'Driscoll. If you don't have like a Maddie Newman, you've got the option of getting her. You could get Slisher, you could get Charlie Thomas. So if you want another defender, you could go for them. But yeah, that's probably where I'd be leaning.
I'm huge on Maddie Newman this week, and I'm very biased. I'm bringing her in. I'm biased. Yeah. I think this kind of game could really, really suit the way Maddie Newman plays. Especially the fact that Adelaide are going to be going go because they want to win and win well tonight.
Yeah,
being first game of the round.
I think the other thing that people, I guess, are probably not quite. I think it's hard. So I'm trying to think of the word to put into it. Probably not taking into account as much, I guess, is the fact that when you look at Maddie Gay and Gab Newton, they're all up at over $1 million. Maddie Newman is very, very close to those sort of scoring. She just had a couple of those 60s when Crows were in like first gear and she didn't really need to be used as much. And then she dropped a tiny bit in price, whereas the other two players went sort of 70s and 80s and kept rising. So like her last three haven't been amazing, 62, 67 and 56, but Giants and Collingwood, they're in cruise control. They didn't really need to do too much. And then North Melbourne, tough matchup. I didn't expect her to go huge that game, whereas they need to go well this game. I think Geelong's going to be a pretty good game this one. I think Geelong will still be able to push Crows, but I think Crows eventually will get over the top. But I think this is a sort of game that Maddie Newman can end up going quite well in. And yeah. I know that Liam was saying as well that Geelong have actually given up a few points to those sort of high halfback / winger type players, which is exactly what Maddie Newman does. But then again, she plays sort of all over the ground. So I also like the pick, but I think we got the warning. Warning's fitting in. So obviously he's hoping that he can go the double. This
is giving me luck for the second one that hopefully I can win this weekend.
Yeah, well, I'm just get one. That this week the biggest weekend of my fantasy football career across any sport, any format. So I'm hoping that we can get it done and get this hat. So. That is what I'm looking to do. But in terms of captains, it's obviously Evan Amara at number one, quite clearly. I don't really have an order after that, but obviously you're not sort of going as a VC, Tom. But if you were going her as a VC, who do you think you'd like as a backup captain for those coaches that have got someone potentially in mind putting a captaincy on if something happened, if Marinoff failed as captain tonight?
Yeah. In a normal week, I'd be like Jazz Garner, Gold Coast, yes, perfect. But I don't think this is the week to go there. Purely because I think as a community we am, and I could be. It's my first year doing this properly. I've not watched AFLW loads apart from this year. I can't see too many coaches leaving the queue up on the rack too early with players. I think every coach wants to win well. Most teams are playing for something, especially in and around the 8, because most of the players we're looking at are in good sides. If I didn't have to see on, I don't mind a Laura Gardner versus West Coast. That could be she could get a 40 again quite easily in that matchup. As I say, I don't mind Garner. Apart from that, I mean, I am trading her out. I don't mind a Mim Strong.
Yep.
And that's probably where I would end it. I don't have anyone else that I'm like, yes, I'd be happy to captain them over a 110 from nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I'm looking through the games here. As you said, Laura Gardner, I like as a potential option there. I guess Charlie Rowbottom still is still an option regardless. I think she's still pretty good. I know that obviously up against North, but we have seen North have given up some good scores to midfielders. I know Monconti went big. Obviously, Marinoff has gone big against everyone, but again, she still went big there. And if North Melbourne are up by a fair bit, again, Gold Coast are going to play out the season like you'd expect, and potentially Garner and Riddell are resting either on the bench or forward, which means that Rowbottom will, like all due respect to every other midfielder, but Garner and Riddell are very good, but then players in there won't be as good as Garner and Riddell. So Rowbottom might be able to go quite well in there. Looking here, other players, Ali Anderson against St Kilda, I don't mind as well. I think she could go quite well as well. Elise Parker potentially could go well against Port Adelaide. Then Mim Strom as well would be the other one. So I've currently got it sitting on Ali Anderson, but I've had it on Strom for a bit of the week and whatever. But I'm just hoping that it's just Marinoff goes 120 tonight, and you sort of lock that away. But obviously I'm hoping Marinoff goes 160 because she's obviously averaging 148.8 for the season. I'm hoping she could tick over that 150 average for the season, which would be awesome. Pretty incredible with how she's gone this year. I don't think it'll be ever replicated unless it is Noffy doing it again next year. So definitely keen to see what's going to happen there.
Ash McCarthy as well is another name.
Yes,
McCarthy.
Of course, yeah. Ash McCarthy.
McCarthy would be a great, wouldn't it? One thing I want to ask you, Bales, question from me to you. What's your Noffy line if you're VCing? Or can you wait a little bit in the weekend to see if you need to chase?
So that's a good call. I think this is dependent on where you are. I think if you're already in the top 100, I'd probably take 110 plus. I'd be taking that just because I don't think I'm loving any of the other players to go, yeah, that's a 120, that's a 115 plus, that's a good, like a big score coming up. Like there are flags on like all the players I've said are good, but they've also shown a floor score at least once this season. Or they haven't shown the 130, 140 plus ceiling as much as probably what you'd like. So 110, if you're chasing and you need extra points, you're probably bumping up to 125, 130 plus, I think. I still think if Marinoff goes 120 plus, I think you've got to take it, even if you're chasing. I just think if you have a captain, I don't know if there are going to be many players that do beat a 120 this week or that are sort of close enough to a guarantee to do that. So that's probably where I'd be looking at. I don't know if that's sort of where you were looking or potentially thinking.
I honestly, I think if you're in the 100, I think it is 100. Because how I'm viewing this scene, especially with the elite scorers, take minus Noffy. If they have a good game, they score 100. Sometimes 110, sometimes 120. If they have an off game, it's a 90 or an 80. I just think if you get over 100, that's a good game for anyone else you're going to captain.
Yeah. And yes, just because we're blinded by Noffy because she's gone 120 every week and 130 every week bar one.
Every week, yeah. And most time 130 plus. I think we can get blinded by what's a bad score for Noffy and what's a bad score for a captain. I'm just going for the captain. I've got all my red dots on my bench are all emergencies or play in the first game. I just don't want a Lulu BT late in 12 as my captain later in the weekend.
Obviously, if you bring in a red dot, obviously that does help. Like if you're bringing in a Lauren Young or someone like that, or
a definite red dot,
from Melbourne. So like they're not going to play. But obviously, then if you don't have cover in that line, that's the only slight risk sort of you're running there. But I'm looking at the midfield, and you made a good point as well. Like I think I guess a few of us have been worried about potential laid outs and whatever. But like for example, tonight we're obviously going to know if Marinoff's playing, which she will be. But Crows need to win and win well, so you're going to know that there. Even North Melbourne, we're talking about Garner and Riddell. I don't. Again, they've got to win to try and see if they can get top spot because they're not going to know Hawthorn's result until after the game. So they need to make sure that they win. Then you're looking at Elise Parker. She's not. I can't see her resting the last game of the season when just trying to play it out. Ali Anderson again. Brisbane need to win and win well, and then Charlie Robon as well. Same with Elise Parker. I don't see any resting or anything like that coming up. So and even when you look at the other, and I was only looking at my midfield. When you're looking at all the other players as well, sort of the teams around. Obviously, we'd mentioned North, but then Hawthorn as well. They need to win regardless of sort of what happens anyway to stay in the top four or potentially get top spot or top two or whatever. We mentioned Brisbane, mentioned Adelaide, even like Fremantle. If they can snatch a win and potentially win well, then they may jump above the Crows. if Crows were to lose, or if they were to somehow catch up 40-odd% on Brisbane, and Brisbane lost some percentage. They're same with Richmond. They can still jump up to 5th. Port can jump all the way up to 5th if they win well and Freo were to lose. And then you've got obviously Essendon and Melbourne are all fighting out. And then Geelong, an outside chance if Essendon lose to Carlton and then Melbourne lose to Collingwood. So, be very interesting to see what's going to happen with the finals race. But I don't know if there's going to be a huge amount of resting per se. As probably what we saw last year, which we saw a fair few. Cool. We'll answer a few of these questions here as well. So if you guys have got questions, keep sending them through on the live chat on YouTube. We'll get to answering as many of those as we can. Just before we do, we'll just touch on, is there anything else you want to touch on, Tom, at all before we get into some questions? Any sort of plays that you were thinking of, or anything else you just wanted to discuss?
Just my personal advice to people who are in mini-league grand finals, who are on the cat, who are on, the high look seems to be pretty sewn up. Brett seems to be absolutely killing it at the minute with a great side. But try to enjoy it this weekend. I know the last final weekend of the season can be very, very, very stressful.
And that's actually another reason why I don't know if I could trade Strom, because having the hope of being, because I would be in the 100 if I didn't have Strom, because I'd have a ruck that most other people wouldn't, and I'd be in the 100. I don't know if I could handle watching Strom in that last game and just hoping that because I've done it before, obviously in throughout this season in general, and then men's fantasy, every other fantasy. It's a bad experience watching players and just going, I don't want you to score points, and then them just seeing absolutely rack up. So I think that that's part of the reason why I'll be holding. But
I'm busy Sunday afternoon, so I won't be watching the game. So I'm like, I can do that trade. Let it be. I'll try not to check my phone too often through the game, and and the only other thing is, this is the week for Hail Marys, but at least have a narrative around your Hail Mary. Like, have a think, take a step back and go, okay, what needs to happen for this to work? Like, for example, I've told you we traded out Noffy this week. I'm not going to do it. I do not suggest doing it. But then I took a step back and went, no, that's probably 40-point loss in that position. Am I going to get 40 points from the cash I gain? No, I'm not. So actually think about the risky trades you're going to do and what is the narrative behind them actually working.
Yeah, exactly. Because the other thing with Noffy as well, you obviously mentioned that if anyone was considering, because a few people might be saying, I could go Marinoff down to a Laura Gardner type or an Ash McCarthy type, and then I could use that cash on top of a Pounger or a rookie in the forward line and go get Kate Hoare back in. But Kate Hoare is coming off a quad injury. There's no guarantee she's going to be going even 80, 90 plus tonight. Not tonight, sorry, when they play on the weekend. Who knows? She might sit more forward with that injury. They've got Purcell bats. They've got some midfielders there to play instead. So even that, and then also the fact that Marinoff's got that 190 ceiling is that that's the thing.
That's why I said no. If she was like a traditional, say, men's premium whose ceiling's about a 140-ish, then it's definitely a play. But she's gone over 173 times this year. You can't back against that.
Yeah, and she's obviously gone over 150, and she went over 150 in another game as well against Melbourne. Yeah. So it's just
no, thank you.
Exactly. So and I think I actually think Marinoff as well, and not just saying this just because I love Noffy and I'm a Crows fan, but I think she goes big tonight with the fact that Crows need to win and win well. Start off the round, captain or co-captain. I think we'll lead by example and go pretty big. So. I'm only going the VC just as sort of a tiny extra bit of safety, but there's also a lot of safety in just straight captaining it. So, looking forward to seeing Noffy tonight. We do have another super chat from Tim Ashworth here. So he said he's looking at going Strom to O'Dowd, Butler to Newman, and Goldrick to Georgia Stads for the Dogs. I like him. I think they're good trades. I'm just having a look at what Eilish O'Dowd's price is.
893 893.
893. If there was any way, Tim, that you could get to Jess Allen instead, which is 30K, I would be doing that because Jess Allen's got a great matchup tonight. So if you can do that move, fantastic. If you can't, I think probably O'Dowd would be your best bet under that price.
Yeah, I mean, O'Dowd's not a hot. O'Dowd's got a blue matchup, green matchup, so it's not a horrible matchup for O'Dowd at all.
Yeah, exactly. So if you can't get to Jess Allen, I think I'd be fine with O'Dowd there as well. Because even Edmonds, I half looked at this week, but she's got Strom. It's a tougher matchup there.
The hair type of ruck as well.
Hey,
the hair type of ruck as well.
Yeah, exactly. And then
like
I wouldn't
being two tall rucks.
Yeah, and then everyone else under that price, probably I'd be looking at Bolter instead. Not quite official, just I think it's a bit risky in official. So, but yeah, no, we like trades, Tim. Very
That's
good.
really good.
What do we got here? So let's get through some of these questions. So Tamu Hawk says sitting just outside the 100 at 133rd. So
one behind me.
Yes, there you go. So I was thinking, I was just like that's right around Tom areas. Which combo should I play it safe with? Charlie Thomas and Hatchard and Alice O'Loughlin, or go pods to try and make up the 59 points and get Nat Grider, Ash McCarthy, and Fitzsimon?
I think so. And this is me not trying to harm you. I think we have to try and make up points. So I think the second one is a much more higher upside trade. Just matching probably isn't going to get you very far.
Yeah. I'm probably still the first option. I don't love Nat Grider can drop an absolute stinker, which I don't know if I can trade her in.
I like the other two though. I like the other two.
Yeah, Fitzsimon's good with a Collingwood matchup, and Ash McCarthy's obviously great. I don't mind it again if you adjust the first option, and instead of maybe if you didn't go for Charlie Thomas and you went down to a Georgia Stathis or an Emma O'Driscoll, and then going Anne Hatchard and going getting Ali Anderson, for example. That would be something that, if you don't have Ali Anderson, of course, because I know a few people have already got her. But then if it got you a Laura Gardner instead, I think, because just Anne Hatchard is the sort of player, her and Chelsea Randall, we've seen it. I've seen it a number of times. The Crows fan. Crows are up by a lot, and Hatchard and Chelsea Randall were pretty much the first two players that get rested. So that's the only worry. I like Charlie Thomas, and I like Alice O'Loughlin this week. And Hatchard's the only one that I'm just like, does she get rested and just get stuck on an 80? So, I'd probably... If
I have Hatchard. I think in a normal week, I'd be trading her.
Yeah.
Round 11. Round 10, I'm not. But I think if it was I wouldn't be trading into her this week.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah. No,
I could be wrong. She could go 140.
Yeah.
She's a very good player.
She hasn't shown that same ceiling this year. With Marinoff sitting on point, she just hasn't had that ceiling of the 130, 140s that we've actually seen her hit a number of times in the past. I think she had what did she go in round one? I think she went round one or round two, she went like the 120. And then she went like a 117 to start the year. But then she didn't ton up she didn't. Yeah, she went 123, 117. Port Adelaide and Freo, great matchups. And Marinoff did have a quiet 121 in round one as well, which coincided with Hatchard's best score of the season. But then she went from round three through to round seven, not tunning up, and a fair few 90s that were nearly tons. Then a 103, then an 85. So she's obviously played a bit more forward as well. I don't know if you trade her out and then she's going to absolutely burn you. But yeah, as you said, I don't think I'll be trading her in, but you obviously could consider trading her out.
Her tackling isn't there. Sorry, just as a side point, she's only gone over 6 tackles twice this season. She got 10 against GWS, but only got 21 touches, and then 12 in round one for 123 points. Yeah. I think Noffy's just cuddling everything and not letting everyone else have a tackle.
Exactly. Larry 177 has got who to trade out and then who to trade in. So firstly, who to trade out, Riddell or Anderson? For me, it's Riddell.
I think so.
I'm trading in Anderson this week. So I think the matchup's great. And people are looking at Anderson, her last couple. She's gone 78 and 85. 78 is against Geelong. Brisbane played really bad that game as well. Low scoring fantasy game as well. And then 85, she was tagged by Tanya Kennedy for the whole game. So I think those last two, probably not looking into them too much. And then she went 113, 93, 115 the 3 games before that. So she was in decent form before that there. And I think she'd go big with Brisbane needing a good win this week. So I'd be keeping Anderson, trading Riddell. Who to trade in? Laura Gardner or Maddie Prasparkas? Obviously, Maddie Prasparkas has got the Carlton matchup.
Gardner for me. I'm
probably Gardner with the ceiling. Gardner's got that ceiling. We haven't seen that same ceiling from Maddie Prasparkas this year. She went a 104 in round 1, a 116 in round 5, and a 100 against North Melbourne. But she's just been getting a lot of 80s and 90s. So I'd be going Laura Gardner there. So you're in agreement with that?
Yeah, she's been a great draft player, but not like consistent. But not working pop round 10.
Yeah. Damon Snell, Nat Grider at 668k could be good. She could. I'm just worried that she's put up some absolute stinkers. And even if you're chasing, or if you're even sort of inside the 100, I don't know, Tom. I'm probably not looking at someone that could put up a floor score. And I know Nicole Bresnan's the same sort of player as well, that could put up a floor score. But I don't know. I'm probably not looking at targeting anyone that could go an absolute stinker in the final round.
My thoughts on these kind of players, because I'm kind of doing it in the forward line, but I'm going up to it from a rookie.
I think forward line's probably different though, because there's a blanket over a heap of forwards, whereas the defenders, there's some big scorers there, and I feel like you're going to miss a lot of points if you put up a stinker in the defence compared to the forward line.
But would you prefer? Okay, here's the question: would you prefer a Gay and Grider or a Newman and Georgia Stathis?
Newman and Georgia Stathis, I think.
I think a lot of people might have Darcy and Goldrick, so we're looking 2 defender trades, and we're looking, okay, we want Maddie Gay, what can we get on the other side of it?
Yeah, exactly. And because I don't know, I feel like Maddie Newman and Georgia Stathis, just for example, as the combos, I think they're probably safer.
It could be anyone around those prices.
Yeah, Emma O'Driscoll, Charlie Thomas, anyone like that. So yeah, it is. I don't know. Yeah, I'm probably not looking to target anyone with such a low floor. But I did say about Ali Anderson, Brisbane need to win and win well. So maybe Nat Grider goes quite well. So it's an interesting one there. And if people want to go a bit spicy, I think Nat Grider could be someone you could potentially look at. Lara at 177 has got another question. He said, "Who do you guys predict will be the top 5 highest scoring mids this week?"
Hello.
Right, so I think the top 5 this week will be Noffy. I'm just going up here. I think Noffy, Ash McCarthy, and this isn't in order. Ash McCarthy, Elise Parker, Ali Anderson, and did I say Laura Gardner?
I think so. I think.
So Noffy, McCarthy, Gardner, Parker, and Ali Anderson would be my 5. And then if I'm doing a 6, it'd be probably maybe a row bottom. But I think they're personally my 5. And if I'd order it, I'd go Noff 1. I'll go Ash McCarthy 2. I'll go Elise Parker 3. Maybe Gardner 4, Anderson 5, but it's pretty much put a blanket over the 4 after Noffy, I think.
Yeah, I'd put Garner in there actually. So I think even if Jazz Garner sits forward, I think she could kick 4.
And again, I've got her, so I'm hopeful that you're correct there. I'm personally hoping that the top five scoring mids this week is Ebony Marinoff, Jazz Garner, Elise Parker, Ali Anderson, and Charlie Rowbottom. That's
No. I'm holding Ash Riddell. Ash Riddell's going 180 over this weekend. So.
If that happened, that would kill me.
I think so. This is a little bit spicy. I think Riddell will be more of a pod than people think this week. I think a lot of people are getting rid. I think a lot of people are jumping off. They're jumping off in different directions. But I know she's super high owned in the top 100, 200,000 at the minute.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people will be jumping off this week.
I just look at So Ash Riddell had that 3-game patch from round 3, 4, 5, and the first game round 5, where she went 145, 129, 138. And we obviously know she's got that ceiling, but she had 10 tackles, 13 tackles, and she had 7 tackles, but also had 6 marks in that game, which she hasn't been able to replicate the 6 marks very often. But like since then, she's had 9 tackles, 0 marks, 3 marks, 2 tackles, 1 mark, 6 tackles, 0 marks, 6 tackles, and then last week she turned up. She had 3 marks, 7 tackles. So she hasn't really done a lot of the marks and tackles. She's still getting again. Ash Riddell's one of those players, almost a lock to get 25 marks of the game. It's just she's not doing much of the marks and tackling to boost that ceiling score up to the 130, 140 marks. So again, I'll probably said that now, and she's going to go do it. But yeah,
you keep going, mate. You can will that into existence. That would be great.
Yeah.
No, I do. Personally, I'm seeing in my personal side, I can get more points elsewhere. Because I've got Darcy Goodrich at F5. So I want that. I've got to deal with Darcy, Dizzy Darcy, and I've got to get money somewhere. And I don't like any of the going down off the top tier mids. It's like not even about 10-ish mids that are all in that kind of next bracket. Some maybe higher than others, and then I think there's actually quite a big gap to the kind of the C tier mids. Not they're very good footballers, but fantasy wise, kind of like your Mia King, those kind of mids who can go up, but will average you 85 rather than 100.
Yeah, no, agreed. But yeah, Larry, good question. We like that one there.
I love that question.
Damon Snell says trade Dizzy Goldrick for Newman and Grider. Third trade would be downgrading a bench player for cash. So this is actually what you were talking about before. You were talking about with Goldrick.
Of course, they'll both be 700k now. Sorry, so this is why I don't mind Grider, because she has the ability to score. Like a top tier.
I wonder if Damon could. And this would be a question for you. Would you rather go Emma O'Driscoll and Georgia Stathis, or would you go?
I don't think you'll be able to do it. I don't think you'll be able to do it because like Georgia Stathis is 810, O'Driscoll 790. Manny Newman's only 840.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, if people could do the two combos, Newman and Grider or Jordan Stathis and Driscoll, where would you go?
I'd probably go Georgia. I mean, I had Georgia Stathis in my team this year, and she was rubbish. And then I traded her out, and she's been great.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm not as against the Grider pick as you are. Just looking at her, scores, and yes, it is feast or famine, but she's got 1, 2, 3, 4 scores over 70 with another 2 60s, which for 668k is and yes, she has some absolute stinkers, but she has scored pretty well against weaker sides. 97 against Collingwood.
Are you seeing round 4 though? First game, round 4 against a good, bad Western Bulldogs side.
But then I say, then she scores 72 against my rabble, West Coast. Not a great.
I wouldn't say rabble, mate. They've done quite well this year.
Yeah, but St Kilda are better than St Kilda. More on the Sydney, West Coast, Collingwood kind of level, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I can see it both ways. I love Maddie Newman. I want Maddie. I think she's going to go great tonight. And if I die on the hill of she goes 40 and costs me and other people, I'm sorry.
Yeah. All I'm doing, yeah. And if she was to go 40 or 50 tonight, then
then it's just switch the phone off. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Hopefully.
But then for me, it would just be going to bed, waking up tomorrow, getting ready for the other games, sulking more, and then as shout out to Jackson from Sliding Doors, as he would know, season over. I'd be saying in a group chat.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Oh, I mean, luckily I'll be on the cricket pitch tomorrow, so I won't have to. I won't. I'll just Bales is upset. What's happened? Do I have that player?
Yeah.
No, okay, we're good. We carry on.
Yeah. Corey Blackledge said it's so hard with only 24K in the bank and trying to hold on to the top 100 spot. If I can get Bresnan, I can get Newman or Slisher. Yeah, so obviously that's...
Yeah. It's the same kind of trade.
Yeah, it's the same kind of trade as well. Yeah.
I don't hate it, but you gotta be like, look at yourself.
I probably would prefer Bresnahan over Grider personally.
She's got a better fantasy name.
Who's that?
I think Bresnahan, or from what I can tell.
Yeah,
I'd heard of Bresnahan.
Yeah. It's again, it's a tough one. Both are pretty similar, and obviously you don't love it, but I know a few people have got the Goldrick and Dizzy Darcy combo. You can't do too much, and that's where the Strom down to Matilda Schultz trade does make sense in this scenario, because that gives you enough cash to go either Maddie gain that Grider or go and get two of the 800k odd defenders there.
Yeah, so. I actually I've just looked at Bresnahan's season. I prefer Grider massively. Bresnahan hasn't gone over 71 and has an 18 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, and again, it's probably just by the same. I guess I just maybe slightly like the Gold Coast matchup and just...
and that's it. There could be some chip round down the back, especially in that fourth quarter if North are up.
Yeah. Now, when you're saying it now, it's funny, as you say, you would slide with Grider, but as you say, I'm not huge, I guess, I want those defenders like the Matty Newmans, the Charlie Thomas, the Matty Gay, the Gab Newton. But obviously, I know that people aren't all in that scenario, and you've got to be looking for other options, and that's where someone like an Alex Morecambe comes into calculations for even cheaper, and that might be what gets you the upgrade on the other end. So that's someone you could consider as well. Gone Mad said, brought in Newman, Webster and Shearlaw after a really stuffed up week, dropping 40 spots, crossing fingers. Well, obviously, Tom is bringing in Shearlaw, so hopefully you guys can get a good score from Kate Shearlaw there as well. Henry V said, I've had more fun with the AFLW this year. Marinoff and all the crazy outs each week have really made it fun for me. Yeah, it's been a good year. Again, double game weeks. I'd be glad for them to go next year. But besides that, it's been another very good season there. Matthew Murphy says, is Carruthers a good trading option in Bolter? Oh, beautiful. We don't get too many questions for Bolter. So what's Carruthers' price in Bolter? Let me just get that up. Now, what we got? So Carruthers is priced at. Okay, now my phone is taking a while to load. Carruthers is 127k essentially in Bolter. If you're looking at bringing her in the forward line and you don't have a Bonnie too good and you've got 3k more, I'd prefer that. If it's in the midfield and you can somehow get to up to the 140s, 150 plus, obviously there's a few options there, but I don't hate it. I don't hate it as a forward.
I mean, she's got a good matchup. I've tried to stick with one format this year. She's been good the last couple of weeks. Another good matchup against Freo. I agree. I think it'll be unique. So that could work really well for you.
Yeah, exactly. No, I don't mind it, Matt. I don't mind Carruthers in Bolter. Gone Mad was also saying it was a bugger watching Goldrick and Darcy going big only to get injured and then Hodder only going 37. Yes, well, I'm hoping Courtney Hodder can go well this week. A lot of tackles in this game. I'm hoping for here. And she's been a bit quiet last month after being quite consistent for most of the year. So hopefully she goes big. And Goldrick and Daisy, especially Daisy Darcy as well, being on 52, with still not even half time yet, and then gets injured. That's just cruel blow. And ACL means that she potentially could miss a chunk of next year as well, next season, which is not good. So hopefully Dizzy is back sooner rather than later. The Colonel 96 ranked 200. Do I hold Hoare or trade? What's the best option to jump up spots? I don't think Kate Hoare's the option to trade out. I think if she's a forward,
no, she's a definite hold. She's a great pod for you.
But yeah, ranked 200. Again, this is what you're saying. Maybe this is where you go, your Nat Griders, to maybe chase an 80 and then get a better player on the other end. Maybe you go and get maybe like if someone had Riddell and Garner, you could realistically say, okay, I need to swing for the fences, go Garner and Riddell out, and go get Laura Gardner and Ash McCarthy, the two players that have got big ceilings that could go massive. Ali Anderson, another one of those. Maybe you go do those two trades. Maybe again it's a Strom trade down. Go get Schultz, use that cash. Go maybe a Pounger if you've got her on field. Go her up to a Bonnie Too Good if you don't have her, or go up to another forward and try and maybe get points there. So you just got to probably try a couple of different things, I think.
Sorry, I'm just getting to how far you are off how many points you need to make up. So you need to make up about 150 points. That's a lot of points. So you're going for
going for a top 10 week.
You're going for a top 10 week, which is to me going to happen in one of two ways. You either trade Noffy and pray she absolutely stinks it tonight. Yep. You're playing for an injury, but then you will gain the rank if you don't have her. You get all that money. And on the other one is to maybe, and this I sound like Will off the free kick pod, going down to someone like Lakai against a ruckless Sydney, gaining 900k, being able to get Kate. You said you've got Kate Hall. Go up to the top with a couple of other trades, getting the best thing. So getting your Maddie Gay or your Gab Newton, getting your Ash McCarthy in the midfield from your M5, whoever that is, getting a really good forward from, say, you got a rookie. I think that's the only way of you gaining the points you need. If you're going for a hat, if you're just going for your best finish, just play the game.
Yeah.
Like, don't do anything. Don't kill it. This breaks your team. Like, and it could mean you're in 400th. But it's like, are you going? Do you care about finishing 400th? It means you might finish 100th. Or are you happy where you are and just gonna keep getting the best rank you can? And that's kind of your decision at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly. Just got a super chat, massive one here from Sam. Thank you very much for the big super chat there. Very, very much appreciated, mate. Appreciate everyone's putting super chats, but Sam, mate, extra shout out for the big super chat there. So he's saying, which set of trades? So the first option, Guttridge, Maloney, and Conti to Too Good, O'Loughlin, and Ash McCarthy. I like those trades. Guttridge, Slisher, and Maloney to Too Good, Randall, and Gay. Not a fan of that just because of Chelsea Randall, the risk there, and I think Slisher goes pretty well. And then 3, Guttridge, Slisher, and Conti to Grider, Too Good, and Riddell. On the first one, pretty comfortably, personally.
I love the first trade.
Yeah,
I think it's harsh on Moncon. She's had a great back end to the year after everyone's traded her out, apart from Sam, obviously. Yeah. She's been really good at the end of the year. It is Hawthorn. It's a tough matchup. But I think Ash McCarthy is probably going to be in the top 3, top 4 scorers this week, and she's quite unique. So I think that's good. Guttridge, you've been on the roller coaster, watching, not looking about getting the ball. I think somehow get a 50. She's been, so getting her and Maloney, to Too Good and O'Loughlin. I love that. Trade 1 is a great set of trades. Yeah,
exactly. Really if I had those trades, I'd be locking them in if I had any options this week. So and I like the trade, Sam. And again, very much appreciate the super chat as well. No late changes for the game tonight, unless there are late changes. But the final teams have been named and everything is good to go. We've got not too long to go for that, so it'll be live for about another 10 minutes, and then we'll head off and let everyone get sorted for the first game of the round. What have we got here? So Corey Bladhead saying, I think it's Slisher and Newman for me with Bresnahan. Hang on. It's down to Slisher and Newman for me with Bresnahan. Okay, cool. Out of Newman and Slisher, I think Newman's probably the safer one and also got the ceiling. So I'll probably go Newman for that in that.
I think Newman. I think Slisher's. If she plays, I think she'll be in the midfield. But if she does end up going back, she definitely won't score. Yeah. And she just goes missing in the midfield too often for me.
Yeah, great. Yeah, but I think I'm Newman ahead of Slisher. But I like both. I think both could go quite well.
Yeah.
Gone Mad said Horn not named in the centres. I have a question mark. She's fully fit. Yeah, I don't think she's 100%, but clearly she didn't play last week, and she was a fitness test leading into this game. But yeah, and the fact she's been named in the. I've looked as well in Melbourne's team sheet, obviously owning Kate Horsey, and obviously as we all, she's been named as like the Rover or the Ruck Rover pretty much every game, and she's not been named. And I don't take too much into team sheets, but I did flag before she might rest forward a bit more in this game, but we know Kate Hawke can still kick 4 goals, 5 goals. So
I think Melbourne need her on with a chance to go on the park. I can see fairly low time on ground or fairly high, deep full forward. Like, it's better off resting her on the ground rather in the squad rather than in the stands, I think.
Yeah.
Oh no, wrong round. I love when you go into AFL teams and it goes back to round 1.
Yeah, exactly. Gotta love it. Bill Weicker says, I've Hatchard, Gearin and Riddell, Noffy and Robon, the other 2 mids. Gearin or Hatchard to Laura Gardner? That's a tricky one. The Gearin's got Essendon.
I think it's Gearin.
I think it's Gearin as well, and it's for 2 reasons. One, I still think Hatchard is the better player, but 2, also the fact that if you trade Hatchard, that's a trade locked in this tonight. Whereas if you're doing Gearin, you're saving a trade for tomorrow instead. So probably be doing that. But yeah, obviously both you could potentially trade either or. But we both obviously like Laura Gardner as an option. Henry V, thoughts on Lucy McAvoy? I think there are better options in defence. I think Chloe Malloy's injury has sort of affected McAvoy. She's sort of playing a little bit more over the place instead of earlier in the year. She was pretty much in defence and scoring quite well.
Her and Ella Heads kind of both play this kind of weird wing, sometimes dropping back, sometimes going near the ball role that neither of them score well in. And I know this because I have Ella Heads.
I do as well. It's been good. She's been 60 plus in the last 5 weeks or whatever. So I'm hoping for one more 60.
McAvoy's done this at the same role and scoring very similar. She was in one of my trade plans this week, McAvoy, but then I looked deeper into her role and how she's getting a point. And I think O'Driscoll is a better option at the same price.
I think I agree. What have we got here? So Grant Simmons sitting 144th. There you go. So another one that's very, very close to Tom there as well. Still have Kate Hoare. Do I keep her? I'll be up at 3:45 a.m. in Finland in case she's a late out. Well, if you're going to be awake, then obviously that's good. You obviously adjust that. Maybe keep a trade up your sleeve just in case. But I'd be keeping if you can do other trades. And preferably do one after Kate Hoare plays. That would be ideal. But yeah, I'd be holding. But yeah, mate, 3:45 a.m. That'd be pretty similar to when I'll be up actually. For that game, funny enough, I'm just actually looking at what time that'd be pretty similar time to the game.
A couple hours ahead in the UK.
Yeah,
I'm in Perth though, so
10:05 p.m. For me. So that'll be tomorrow night. So there you go.
Yeah. I think there's other issues. I've got your team up, by the way, because I think Tiana Smith's your trade person you want to be trading this week.
Yeah, agreed. Eliza, Pounger or Hodder out? Hodder lets me get Maddie Gay on the other end. Otherwise, it'd be Maddie Newman. So, what would you do? Pounger and Maddie Gay, or Courtney Hodder and Maddie Newman?
Well, I'm going with Hodder and Newman, so put your Willie Oaths. No, I think it is. I'm saying this after Hodder got a 37, and it's a little in my head, and this could be my narrative, not the truth. I just see Pauga has an ability to go 15, even in a decent role, whereas Hodder has the ability to go 70, 80. And I think Gay and Newman could be similar this week. Could. The similar averages over the season. It's just the magic number being so big in AFLW that means that they're not similarly priced. Newman's not done that badly to drop with the coin she has.
Yeah, agreed. I'd be Newman and Hodder as well. I think they've got the high ceiling. But as I said, I also think Maddie Gay and Maddie Newman are pretty close together in terms of their capabilities, especially for this week. But the price is obviously quite big. So yeah,
and it could go completely the other way. It's not a slam dunk for me. It's like I think Hodder and Newman is 15 points, 20 points better.
Yeah.
But it could also be 80 points worse if the max mins go the other way.
Yeah.
Go with your gut is what I would say. I know you're asking us the questions, but
yeah,
I think it's a close typo.
I do like this next question here. So Bill is saying he's currently 66. He's going Ruby Tripodi or Courtney Hodder to Bonnie Toogood. I'm just obviously looking, just quickly getting up Ruby Tripodi's scores. We're talking about the narrative. If North Melbourne get up by a lead against Gold Coast, which I think they do, I'm thinking Tripodi's the hold, because I think Tripodi probably gets a bit more midfield time this week and a bit more game time as well if they're resting. So Tripodi and Hodder, I think maybe Tripodi could be the hold. I think Hodder's got the highest ceiling. Actually, I say highest ceiling, but then Tripodi did score 100 against Port. So
I think this game is prime Tripodi score time.
Yeah, which is bad because I don't have it, and that's so. Yeah, I agree. I think that
I don't think either of the looking at your team, mate. I don't think either of those are you've got Gabbo Sullivan's a scary one with injury. Hetherington's not been named on your bench as cover, and you have McKee on field. If you can somehow look something in around those, that's where I'll be looking. You probably are. You're a very good coach. You're higher than me. You're 66.
Yeah.
And you've held horse, so you're flying.
Tim Ashworth was saying as well that he was 1K short of Jess Allen in the ruck. So with those trades, of course, the bloody 1K, unbelievable.
That's 1 point somewhere, or even just a magic 1 point. Probably not even your player, just changing the magic number by that small amount somewhere.
Yeah,
so annoying.
Yeah, very, very annoying. Davo, I like this. Davo 5-8-2-9. Thoughts on Eliza McNamara as a pod versus Collingwood? If you're ranked 200th, you're trying to swing for the fences, Eliza McNamara is almost the perfect player in this scenario. She's got the feeling. She's been very, very good this year, and pretty consistent. She obviously she's back-to-back 80s, but she went 121, 123 earlier in the year. Collingwood's good matchup. I think this is a sort of play. If you're ranked 200th and you're trying to have someone that goes 120, I think this could be a pretty good pot.
Yeah, love it. Swing for the hills. I love it.
Yeah, no, beautiful. All round, we like it. Corey Bladledge, would McDonough versus Richmond be a killer for me from 92nd overall? I don't think so. Not in the forward line. If it was in defence or the midfield, potentially. That's why people are trading Mon Conti in that tough matchup. I think McDonough's fine. She's got the ceiling, and if she scores a 40, it's not like the other forwards are all going to go 70, 80 plus anyway.
Yeah, she has the ability to score well. Unless you can do something, unless she's your ticket to something better. I don't know what price is.
Unless you can go get a Kate Hauer. Alistair Lachlan could do pretty similar this week. Chelsea Randall, we've got questions if she gets rested or not, but even still, we'll probably go pretty similar.
Yeah. She dropped so much cash.
Yeah, with that
couple
at 30
after the 100. Yeah. I don't think she's not got enough money to do something fun with. I think you just ride that one.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, great.
I don't have her, so I'm hoping she has a stinker. But for you, I hope she does really well.
Yeah, exactly. No, hopefully she goes well. Matt's got this question. Riddell to McCarthy, Daisy Darcy to Maddie Gay, and Ash Maloney to Chelsea Randall. Thoughts, lads? Or go Daisy Darcy to Maddie Gay, Ponta to Randall, and Panga to a loop for the VC loop. Again, if anyone knows me, I love Chelsea Randall. I'd love to be saying bring her in. I'm just nervous with the potential resting there. I wouldn't be doing that. If you don't have Alice O'Loughlin in the first option you mentioned, Riddell McCarthy's great. I like it. Days Dustin, Matty Gay. I'd go Maloney to Alice O'Loughlin if you can do that. If you can't do that, frustrating. Maybe you go Ash McCarthy and you maybe go a Laura Gardner instead if you need the 20K, or even a Ali Anderson instead. And that might be what gets you Alice O'Loughlin, or even an Ash Saint who's got a good matchup. So, that's I'd probably go the first option. But yeah, because I think Ponta could go quite well tonight.
I brought Ash Saint in last week for Kate Hall. That's where I went with that downgrade. I love that first trade though. I think that's like maybe with a slightly different forward, but even if you go with Chelsea Randall and just pray that face is okay, I still think that's a really, really solid trade.
Yeah. What do we got here? Bill said he's got Hatchard, Gearon, Riddell, Noffy, and Rowbottom, and he's going Gearon to Gardner or Garner. I think Gardner you're trading in. I don't know if you're trading in Garner because you're probably going to get anywhere from like a 90 to a 110. I don't know if you're going to 120 plus unless she plays the whole game.
Unless she kicks 5, I don't see her accessing the very top points this week.
Yeah.
But Gardner's quite unique. I think that's against West Coast. I think that's the play.
Yeah. We got a super chat from Sam as well, so I think we'll just end off on this one. He says, Ash McCarthy or Eliza McNamara if you're swinging for the fences from 239. It's funny because I think Ash McCarthy's pod and she still goes big anyway. So, maybe you still go McCarthy there.
Yeah, I think you go McCarthy. What my thoughts were when I first saw the question was McCarthy will score more, McNamara will be more unique, but I think you're just trying to go for more points, so that's Ash McCarthy. Yeah, and it's fun to watch. And she might have to score 180 to get your hat. You get to watch that in the final game, which is fun to watch your player trying to score.
Exactly right. Yeah, it's a good point. Henry, not Hanks over McNamara. No, Hanks doesn't have the same ceiling as McNamara's shown as well. And Matt Murphy said he's Gardner the best trading official in the mids if that's best she can afford. I think she's one of the best. Yep, you got Ali Anderson as well as there. Ash McCarthy is the best if you can get there. She's about 20K more, but you got a few options there as well. And Davo was also saying he's ranked 35th, needs a mid to upgrade Goody too, and he liked the look of McNamara. So, don't mind it. Obviously, you're going to get more points, I think, than what we say than Goody this week, but she has shown the ability to go 120. And I don't love anyone around the McNamara price that you'd be going. Yeah, I'd prefer to go there instead. Maybe Sophia Hurley, but yeah, I think I'd be going McNamara.
That's same vibes for me.
Hey?
So, as in, you go in Hurley or McNamara, it's just it's effectively this go your first instinct. I think.
Yeah, exactly right. Cool. Alrighty. Well, that's going to do us for the final pre-lockout chat for the AFLW season. Good luck, everyone, this week. Hopefully, you guys go well. And Tom, mate, thank you very much for jumping on for me in this one. As well, for the people that missed it before, what are your trade plans for the final round and your captain?
Yeah, trade plans are out. Mimstrom, Daisy Darcy, and Darcy Guttridge to Matilda Schultz, Maddie Newman, and Kate Shearlaw. And my captain straight up is Ebony Marinoff starting 10 minutes. Yep,
no, I like it, mate. And then I'm going my trades this week. I'm going Goldrick to Maddie Newman, and in order to fund that, I'm going Hayley McLaughlin down to Lauren Young for the VC loop there. And then going Ash Riddell slightly down to Ali Anderson as well. So that gets me a little bit of cash to go get Maddie Newman there. And captain, hopefully, will be Marinoff VC. If I didn't take the VC and I needed extra points, then I've got a few options later in the round, like an Ali Anderson, Mim Strom, Elise Parker, a few options there that I could potentially go with there as well. So, cool, beautiful. Tom, mate, as I said, thank you very much for jumping on, mate. Where can the people find you across the socials?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Bales. I'm on X at Tom_Hales_.
Make sure you go and give the man a follow. I'm sure we'll be hearing him a lot more around the fantasy community, both in AFLW and also AFL Men's next season. I'm sure you'll be jumping on with us for the men's some maybe a few times next season, mate, if you want to jump on, of course. And you can find me at Bales DT. You can find Jaiden at Jaiden_Poposky. And you can find Mitch at Ball Boys Fantasy. You can find us at AFL Fantasy Fans. And if you are watching on the video on live stream, make sure you do smash a like on the video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're listening back on the podcast, very much appreciate it as well. And please leave us a 5-star rating and review. That'd be very much appreciated. Thank you, everyone that's sending those super chats as well. And also thank you if you've tuned into the pre-lockout chats and especially tuned in live throughout the season. We're back on, I believe, Tuesday will be when our season review will be up. But we're recording Monday night, recapping. Hopefully, me getting a hat. And yeah, why do I think I'm going to bottle it? I don't know. I hope we can get it done. But I've just got a feeling it's going to be bottled and it's not going to happen. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But anyway, good luck, everyone, this week. Hopefully, you guys get top 100. You win your league, whatever you're going for. Hopefully, you get it this week. And also, good luck to Jaiden and Eloise, who are playing off in the Content Creators Cup Grand Final this weekend. It should be an absolute cracker. And yeah, we'll catch you guys next week. Have a good weekend, guys. See ya.
Bye.